Donald Trump is doing, and Elon Musk, for that matter, is doing, and they're all doing, whatever they can that allows them to extract as much value as possible.
Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland of the Majority Report in this video start by talking about Tim Walz and the message he's putting out there, which is pretty fired up, and I'm all about it. In the second half of the video is really interesting. They start to parse, like, what is going on with Trump and these tariffs, and why is he trying to tank the stock market? Like, what is happening? And they have some really interesting insights. So let's watch this together. I'm going to make some, observations as we go, and then I want to know what you think in the comments, but let's roll it.
I really think he's being very smart right now. He is staking out the left flank position fairly early on. I mean, he's talking about single payer on Molly Jong-Fast's show, and it seems like now that Peggy Flanagan is his lieutenant governor, is likely to kind of be the front runner in that open Senate seat, that because I thought he might run for that. But I think he wants to run for president. And talking about universal health care this early on, big thumbs up in my book. Of course, we were already fans of his record in Minnesota. And then also the fact that Ken Martin is now DNC chair. It's interesting. I mean, they work together to good effect in Minnesota to make people's lives better. And if there's some coordination there, I think Walz may have advantages that I may have underestimated, in addition to the fact that he's just a good politician. And so much of what he said here about how Democrats should fight back against Trump is the exact stuff that we've been saying.
We should also say there's a huge leadership vacuum.
Right. And he's filling that, thankfully. So I really appreciate a lot of what he had to say last night on MSNBC.
Appreciate that, and shout out to Montana. I've been out there hiking. Great trails, great people. When you look at what we're seeing now, you have the world's richest person, a multi-billionaire many times over, being cheered on by workers and some working class people on the center right and in MAGA, while, as you just referenced, he fires people and takes away jobs. Where does that response fit in for your party tonight?
Yeah, well, it troubles me. I made the case on this that I come out of the working class, and I thought it was a flex that I was the least wealthy person to ever run for vice president, and they side with the guy who wants to cut your mom's Social Security benefits. This goes back to our job is our policies are popular. Social Security is popular. Paid family medical leave is popular. The Consumer Protection Financial Bureau that Senator Warren talked about is popular, so you don't get ripped off. Why are they siding with this guy that is blatantly trying to get himself involved in this? A guy who's lived on government contracts, someone who's given no service to this country, only to himself. We have got to get back to earning the trust, and I think it starts with going in and talking to these folks. Go wherever you can, but then making sure when we have the power to do something, pass some damn laws to improve people's lives. Don't worry about the next election. If we can pass it all the first year, I said that as governor. If I can get everything passed, why would I come back again? You can get it done, and I think we have made a mistake on that. And I just have to tell you, Ari, I disagree with this idea that, look, Republicans are digging a hole, Democrats should back off and just let them dig. That's what we've done, and we've ceded space to them. I say jump in the hole and help them dig.
Hell yeah, Tim Walz. Hell yeah.
Because I'll tell people, I want to go out to these districts and tell them, this is what your member of Congress is voting for. They are undermining you. Bernie Sanders is right. Quit trying to talk about Social Security other than just lift the cap and let everybody pay what they should. That fixes it. It's simple. The idea that Elon Musk doesn't pay any more than a teacher is simply outrageous. How can it be that Donald Trump pays less taxes than folks who are working at schools or hospitals? And we as Democrats need to be more aggressive about it, because tonight will be nothing but reality TV, because that's what this is to this guy. I was on a farm this afternoon. I don't know how many of those farmers voted for me. Probably not many. That's the way it goes. But they agreed with me on this. This is stupid. Donald Trump negotiated a trade deal. Now he's trying to go back on it with our trusted allies. And I don't blame Canada for this, but I'm nervous about it. When the Premier of Ontario says that they're going to cut off electricity to us, that's a problem. Do I hear Donald Trump saying a damn thing? No. Do I hear him say anything about the wildfires down in South Carolina? No. When we have these things, he just wants to attack California or attack his political opponents. This is not leadership. The American people know it, and those folks in that room, I can see it in their eyes. They are terrified to go back and talk to their constituents. It took them 6 weeks to screw the economy up.
I liked it.
Yep.
I like it. I like what he's saying. I think he's being strategic too. I think he's saying a lot of things where he knows that there is a vacuum with Bernie Sanders not run. I mean, he's not going to run again. Even though, by the way, all those concerns about his age and his health, who knows what toll the presidency would take on him, but looking a lot more sprightly than one Joe Biden right now. But I think like there's no one of the besides AOC, who is the Democrat who is leading the way on these issues? And Walz seems to be like, hey, at the very least, I'll message on this and I'll go to red districts.
Out there, nobody's stopping them. Go to those red districts.
Like, there's been a rollback of some of these tariffs now. Of course, you have Lutnick like, oh, just joking. By the way, we're really showing strength here where within 24 hours, our policies change.
Well, this is it. This is the part where they start explaining it, and it makes so much sense. Check it out.
I increasingly...
Yes.
The explanation for what's going on, whether it's the announcement about the crypto reserves or the tariffs... This is, if you, I mean, it's so reductive, but it answers almost every question. If you look at like what the mob does, if you look at what criminals and mafia does, what they do in boiler rooms with pump and dumps, Donald Trump is doing, and Elon Musk, for that matter, is doing, and they're all doing, whatever they can that allows them to extract as much value as possible. So, you know, like, it's almost impossible for us to sit here and think like, wait, would the president of the United States really be talking about tariffs just as a way so that he had like the ability to
tank the stock market?
To manipulate the stock market, or to know which industries are going to do well and invest in those and buy those and get kickbacks? Like, would he really do that? And the answer is, of course he would.
Especially when he has no constituency to answer to. If he really thinks, whether it's the most extreme example of this, that he's going to mess with elections, and he's tweeting out photos of him looking like a king. And last night he talked about how he does have a constituency.
Do you remember?
The billionaire.
Remember after the exactly.
But you know what point I'm saying. Like, I'm basically saying that if he doesn't have to worry about the democratic process again.
He doesn't have to worry about votes.
Yeah. My point is there's two options there. Either he's not running again, which he's not supposed to be legally allowed to do, or the fact that he thinks that he maybe has this divine mandate. That's what he was saying last night. He said he was saved by God to save America and make America great again. You think that he's like thinking about how the voters are responding? He's trying to get rich as fast as possible, and then we'll see about the democracy.
I got about 18 more months.
Yeah.
Just gonna have a fat wallet. Now if I win again, oh my! If we keep Congress, I'm gonna be so rich.
And you notice how Ivanka was not there, and Jared, they kind of cut bait after the end of the last term because he was such a disgrace after trying to overturn the results of the election. They were front and center last night because it's time to get rich again. It's time to get rich again. It's time to get another multi-billion-dollar investment from the Saudis like Kushner got at one of his properties. Here we go, folks. Grab bag presidency. So, but I think you're right. Like, there's something going on where they're manipulating. It's a series of little shocks, like the shock doctrine. Even if the market tanks for a little bit, that may still depreciate assets where they can buy it on the day in bulk, his buddies at some VC firm or whatever. And then what do you know? They lift them. Lutnick says, we may not do that. Oh, wow, look, those assets that were just bought for cheap are really valuable again. Mm-hmm. They're doing it with crypto.
I'm going to end it here. They go on in this clip, in this source video, they go on to talk to a caller about pharma, and that's interesting. You can check it out on the Majority Report channel if you want, but let me know what you think in the comments.